Midnight Range TM here. Just figured I'd do another gun cleaning video here. Finally got a chance to get the rifle out and shoot in the red dot. I just added a Vortex Crossfire red dot. Real simple red dot. And it did really well. Held zero well. I didn't get a whole lot of rounds through it, but you know, got it zeroed in really quick and shot a few more. We were running out of light, so I didn't get a whole lot of rounds through it. But I figured I'd do a little cleaning video. I got to clean it anyway. Might as well put it on video, right? And it gives me a chance to talk about my setup a little bit and how I like how I have this rifle set up. It is an AMD-65. It's an FEG, Hungarian receiver. I believe it's done through TGI. TGI, yeah, out in Tennessee, the ones that imported it. It is a 12.5-inch barrel. It's got the welded-on muzzle brake to make it legal. So actually, the muzzle actually stops here. The rest of this is brake, which gives it the 16 inches. If it's welded, they consider it a part of the barrel. It's a 16-inch barrel then, so it's legal to have in the U.S. Without a stamp. I do have a UTG rail on it. It's a UTG Pro, and it is a drop-in. You don't need to fit the rail. The rail is actually made for this rifle. You can get other ones to fit, but usually have to grind them up, grind them down. I have a Hogue rubber grip on the back, and I do have a cheek riser on it. Normally, this bottom is, you know, the wire folder. It is a side folder, and it does have the cheek riser that's bolt on. I did paracord on it too, which is really nice. It adds a little bit more bulk to it too, and it's a little easier on your cheek when you're shooting. And if you've never seen how one of these folds, there's a small button underneath. I did have to modify the grip a little bit. I just took a little Dremel to the grip and cut out a little hole for it. You push up on that and the whole thing slides to the side, which is really cool. You can fire it even with the cheek riser on. It's a little bit hard to get to the safety, but it's no big deal. You can fire it with it slid to the side, and you can charge it with the handle on the side too. Okay, just like any other AK or AKM, obviously this isn't a true AK. Push button on the back, dust cover comes off, spring comes out. I do have a recoil buffer on the back. That's this little part here, the rubber part. It helps with recoil, obviously. Recoil buffer. And bolt comes out. Okay, and that's field strip for an AK. Easy, right? No big deal. All right. So the bolt on the AK, just, you know, this is your actual bolt here. Comes out of the bolt carrier, piston. I don't disassemble my bolt generally. You can, but I have not. I have about 1,700 rounds to this rifle, and it's held up great for me. I have no issues at all with it. Never had an issue chambering, extracting, no misfires, nothing. It's been great for me. I do have a little bit of mag wobble in it, which is kind of a bummer, but that's just how it is. These rifles came into the country to accept 20-round mags, and I believe single stacks. So I think they had to grind them out or do some work on the mag weld to get the double stacks to fit. And with the original setup, you can get a 30-round mag in it, but the original front grip is a little wonky. It's really tight. Sometimes you can slide it in there, sometimes you can't. Okay, so let's run a wet patch down there. A little bit of hoppies on it. Bring it back. Move this stuff over. I'll do this video, and maybe next time I can get the wife to clean this for me. She has yet to shoot it. She's actually never shot it. And I know she wants to. So I gotta tell her next time she pulls the trigger, she's gotta clean it. Okay. Alright. You know, one of the other things I like to look at, check the hammer. You know, bring the hammer up, make sure everything looks good, make sure your cables look good down there, the tension cables. Make sure your rails look nice. Check in the chamber, make sure nothing looks worn or chipped. I do not, it isn't easy to take the gas tube off. You have to take the rail off to get the gas tube off, which is a little, you know, that's not something that you really do all that often, if ever. With an AK, I don't think you need to worry about it a whole lot. I've never had an issue. But what I will do is run a patch down into the gas tube. Kind of see what it's looking like. I like to take a wet patch, get down in there, make sure the rails are clean, get down in underneath them. I shoot pretty much exclusively steel cased, so it does get pretty dirty pretty quick. Get these rails all cleaned off. Make sure everything's looking good. Go over to the bolt. Put a little solvent on the bolt. Get that looking good. You do have a floating firing pin. Always like to make sure that that's looking good. It's floating good. It's moving in and out pretty easily. If not, then yeah, you definitely need to take your bolt apart. Rails on the bolt carrier, down in there, get in and underneath, inside those rails, at the top, I don't worry about the end of the piston all that much. Every once in a while, I really do an awesome job and get it nice and shiny, but usually I don't worry about it too much. All right. And in where the bolt rides, and I think that's gonna do it. I always like to check the spring, make sure there's no cracks in the spring, no weird bends in it or kinks. The AK does have a kind of an odd setup here. It's got one long main spring, and then inside there are these two bars that are kind of hooked together like in the U shape, and that's what allows it to, instead of like a buffer tube, it's pretty simple, really cool. So I always like to make, you know, kind of take a look at those and make sure they look like they're, you know, looking like they should. All right, so I'm gonna run one more dry patch down the bore, and we're gonna get it put back together. Like I said in my last cleaning video, I switched over to using a grease instead of just an oil, and I've really been liking it. It's kind of sticking where it's supposed to be. Even after shooting, come out and it's still got a nice coat on it. So you know, bolt goes into the bolt carrier, right? So you've got some areas that you want to take care of. You got contact surfaces on the bolt. Just super light. Actually took some of that off. Okay. And then I like to put a little dab in the inside there. And if you have any excess, you know, wipe it down, no big deal. Put a little dab on the rails. Dab on the rails here. Okay. I do like to bring the hammer up, hit just a little shot of rem oil in there, drop that hammer back down. So that goes down in there, the whole thing slams forward. Okay, really nice. This goes in, hooks in the back. Dust cover goes back on. My dust cover is really snug. Okay, really like tight fitting. I've seen some that have a lot of wobble back there. This one doesn't. Okay. There you go. Safety on. Doesn't come back. Safety off. Comes the whole way back. Okay, and that's it. AMD-65. Lubed up and ready to go. Thanks for visiting the channel. Thanks for watching me clean a gun. And you can check me out on Gunstreamer, guntube.org, gunchannels.com, a hot spot for pro Second Amendment people. And we do live streams 10:30 Eastern, Sunday nights. Food and guns. Come check us out. Thanks for coming, and I will see you later. Bye.